Advanced Revenue Management, Item Configuration for Advanced Revenue. All right. So my last video, I dealt with revenue recognition rules, which is really important. Got it in bold here, and now I am going to deal with the item setup. Now I've got this in bold as well because this is also really important. This is critical. When you use advanced revenue management, by default, revenue arrangements are created based on the configuration you specify on the item record. So this is critical to get right. All right. If you use the rule-based recognition treatment feature, which I don't have set up in my account, so you can see there, so I'm not going to deal with that in detail at this moment in time, okay? Now, what's important, you can configure advanced revenue management for the following item types. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Now, if I for a moment just go to my sheet about all item types, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a good 20 here. There's a whole bunch. Right, so let's go and just see which ones of them you can use, because this is critical, obviously. Assembly, including serialized and lot number. Right, so there's assembly. Let's go and mark that. Download item. There's my download item. Kit package. There's kit package. Inventory, including serialized. Inventory, serialized. All of those ones. Non-inventory for sale or resale. And there's my non-inventory. Not purchased though, right? So other charge for sale, resale. Other charge also, but not purchase. And service for sale or resale. Where is my service? There it is, right at the bottom. Right, so you can see there's about a half of them that you can use, and then these other ones not. So it's really important. If you have some of these guys, you're going to have a problem, okay? So let's now go and have a look at the detail. Right, so I have in NetSuite, here is my items. You go list, accounting, items, and you get to the sheet here, all right? Now, oops, knock out. All right, so there is my list of items. I have created a view where I have ordered the columns, so it makes more sense. All right, you can see that there. You can create that if you want. Right, and I have exported that list of items and kind of just hidden some of them, because this is a good list of items for a SaaS type business, right? So you've got your 4 different types of licenses, SaaS licenses, software as a service. You've got some training classes. You've got some professional service to do the implementation, right? You've got perpetual licenses, 2 of them. You've got maintenance, another perpetual license, more maintenance, training, professional service, hardware. So that is a good data set, I think, to tackle the item setup with. Now you'll see a deferred revenue account. So I'm, excuse me, I'm only dealing with revenue recognition related item fields. So I'm not dealing with the other item fields that you hopefully have already set up. Right, so you can see here in this account, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 different revenue accounts set up so that they can see the split. And you'll see that for income, they have this similar accounts. And then this is the only exception. To be honest, I've not really looked into why that one is different. I might look at that later. Alright, so let's just go and look at the suite answer, number 49200. You'll see that is on my, on my sheet. I showed all my suite answers references. The accounting subtab of the item record includes the following fields that are specified, specific to advanced revenue management. So deferred revenue account, so I've just shown you there's that field for that account, and there's the income account right there, and there's the intercompany, right? Intercompany is not set up in this account, so you'll see there's nothing there. Alright, so deferred revenue account. Select the deferred revenue account to associate with this item. The default value for this field is determined by the accounting preference default deferred revenue. So you'll see I've made a video of all the preferences. So go and have a look at that one if you haven't already. This accounting preference is on the items transaction subtab, so I'm not going to deal with that again. When no account is set, the system generated default revenue account is used, right? So there's videos around that. So for intercompany, you can actually only use these three, right? So non-inventory, non-inventory. Let's make them blue. Other charge and service. Alright, so those are the only ones you can use with intercompany. Select the account to use. Alright, I think you can read through that. This is the important part. Income account, this field is not specified to advanced revenue management, but a value is required so revenue can be recognized for the item. The default value is determined by the accounting preference default. Yeah. So just go and look at that video about the defaults. Setup, sorry. Okay, so just before I move on to the next step, I just want to show what this is going to look like in your trial balance. Right, so here you can see revenue, subscription, right, so subscription, there's training, professional services, so then you have that split in your income statement. Okay, so revenue recognition amortization subtab. Okay, so there's quite a few here. That is the field we're on now. In my previous video, I spent quite a bit of time, I think actually more than 20 minutes, talking about revenue recognition plans. There are those plans that we looked at, and there are the default ones, and you will see here that for the most part, they only use the default there. All the other ones are these custom plans that they've set up in this demo account, okay? Alright, so revenue recognition rule. Select the revenue recognition rule to use by default for this item for actual revenue recognition plans. Right, the accounting preference default standard revenue recognition rule determines the default value for this field in the item record. If you use rule-based recognition, right, I'm not going to deal with that. So basically, you've got to pick one of the standard roles, the default ones, or you've got to have one of your rules set up that you want to use. Right, similar thing for the revenue rec forecast rule. Right, really important one here. Create revenue plans on. Okay. This field determines, let me make it a little bit bigger. This field determines the event that triggers creation of revenue recognition plans. Match the event with the amount source of the item's revenue recognition rule. The revenue plans may be created automatically or manually according to the revenue plan update frequency setting in your accounting preference. And of course you can do it manually as well. Otherwise, I think the standard is 3 hours. This field is not required on the item record, but a value must be selected to create revenue recognition plans. If you leave the field blank, you can select the value in the revenue element when the item is used in a contract. For more information, see viewing revenue arrangements. I will do videos about all of these. This field has the following options: revenue arrangement creation, which they have used in these examples quite a lot. So this is the default. The revenue plans can be created manually as soon as the revenue arrangement has been created. This option requires a revenue rule with amount source set to event percent based on amount. Right? Percent based, yeah. So it's got to be one of these guys. Alright. End periods prorate. Right, so that's the one they used, and you can see it matches there. Right, the next one, billing. Revenue plans can be created after the sales order is billed. Right, so you must build that sales order. Just approving the sales order is not going to do it. You have to do the billing. Plans are also generated from standalone cash sales, invoices, credit memos, and cash refunds. This option requires a revenue rule with amount source set to event percent based on amount and RevRec start date source set to event date. Okay. Alright, the next one is fulfillment. This option is available only when the advanced shipping feature is enabled. Important. This option requires a revenue rule with amount source set to event percent based on quantity and RevRec start date source set to event date. Alright, the next one is going to be, well, both of those look like project ones, and then there's one for subscription. Project progress. This option is available only when the project's feature is enabled. This option requires a revenue rule with amount source set to event percent complete. Alright, next one also project revenue event. This option is used for project revenue recognition. And then subscription events. This option is available only when the suite billing feature is enabled. Actual revenue recognition plans that are created on subscription events do not include start and end dates. On these revenue plans, only the reforecast method can be changed. For more information, see configuration subscription. Now, I have done a whole series of, I think, about 35 videos around subscriptions. So there's a lot of information for you. Just go and have a look at my YouTube channel. Alright, allocation type. Select an allocation type to associate with this item on sales transactions. The default value is normal. So you'll see here in this list of items, almost all of them are normal. There's just 3 of them here that are software. 2 of them are training and 1 is professional services. So for the most part it's normal. Revenue allocation for this item follows the fair value price list. Right, then exclude. This item is excluded from revenue allocation. The item discounted sales amount is the revenue amount. Right, so that's discount related. Software, the item is software. Revenue allocation follows the fair value price list. If the fair value prices for any item in the allocation are estimates rather than VSOE, revenue allocation is recalculated using the residual method. For more information, see residual method. Right, I'll just quickly, I'm not going to go into any detail here. Alright, here is the residual method and 2-step allocation, suite answer 49232. Right, so you can read through that. I'm not going to deal with that at this point. Auto expansion for revenue management. this box appears only on kit items. Right. I do not believe I have that field on my export there. Yeah, so this is only for kit items, and kit items, if you can remember our list of items that was available that we marked off, kit items was one of them. So only if you have kit items, you will have this field on those items. When this box is checked, the parent kit item and its child product items become revenue elements. The child items include the fair value and accounting rules for advanced revenue management. By default, it is checked. Default as delivered. Check this box to set this item to a delivered status automatically when it is added to a transaction. Clear this box to leave the delivery status clear by default. The fulfillment status of an item is separate from its delivery status. An item may be marked delivered, although fulfillment has not yet occurred. Okay, so really important here that those can be split. Okay, just before I move on to direct revenue posting, let's just take a second and go and open one of the items. Let's open this one. Let's go to that tab. Right. Right, so we're looking at this field at the moment, direct revenue posting. Alright, check this box to disable advanced revenue management for this item. When checked, posting transactions that include this item post directly to the item revenue account. No revenue element or revenue arrangement is created. When you check this box, the deferred revenue account on the accounting subtab is disabled. When you create sales transactions that include items that have this box checked, all the items in the transaction must have this box checked. Really important, so you can't mix and match. You cannot mix items that post directly to revenue with items that post to deferred revenue in the same transaction. This restriction also applies to kit items. All items in a kit must post either to revenue or deferred revenue. By default, this box is not checked. You cannot check or clear the box after the item has been used in a transaction with advanced revenue management. What you can do is you can go and delete that transaction, and then you can clear or unclear the box. Eligible for contingent revenue handling. Check this box to indicate that this item is subject to contingent revenue handling. When checked, revenue allocated is affected. Alright, so if you want to go and see the details, I'm not going to deal with this at this moment. It is around revenue handling for professional service items. Alright. I don't have that option. Foreign currency adjustment account. This field is displayed only when the multiple currencies feature is enabled. So there you can see there. Right. The field is displayed right. Select the account to use for the foreign currency adjustment during reclassification. The default is the income account, like you just saw there in NetSuite, set on the accounting subtab. You can select any other account with an account type of income, other income, expense, or other expense. So you cannot use cost of sales in the income statement or any balance sheet accounts. These account options include the gain and loss accounts generated by the system after qualifying revaluation transactions. You can change the foreign currency adjustment account on the revenue element before revenue recognition plans are created, not after. Use item chart of account mapping in Multibook Accounting if you want to use a different account for foreign currency adjustments in secondary books. Hold revenue recognition. Check this box to delay posting from a revenue recognition plan by putting it on hold. When a revenue plan is on hold, the total balance of the delayed item remains in the deferred revenue account until you cancel the hold. Right, so maybe there's some kind of service interruption, not really. Yes, that could work. Item revenue category. Item revenue category is a classification for items that have similar characteristics and revenue allocation requirements. The options in this list are configured during setup to meet the specific needs for your company. For instructions, see adding item revenue categories. I have made a video about item revenue categories, so go and have a look in my NetSuite, in my YouTube channel. There you will see that video there. Permit discount. Choose from the following to determine how discounts are handled for this item. As allowed, allows a portion of an applicable discount to be applied against the item when revenue allocation is performed. Never. Prevents a discount from being applied against this item when revenue allocation is performed. Right. And there you can see permit discount as allowed. And when we just take a moment to go look here at the where is it? There it is, permit discount. So you can see for the most of them it's as allowed, some are not set. So right. Okay, and then the last one here, revenue allocation group. The revenue allocation group value is used in group sum functions in the fair value formulas. The option you select here is the default, but you can change it on the revenue element. Right, so this is just a default. The available options are configured during setup to meet the specific needs of your company. Right, if you use rule-based recognition treatments, a recognition treatment may supersede the value you select here. Right, and then lastly, when the multi-book accounting and revenue and expense management feature are enabled, an accounting book subtab is added to the revenue recognition amortization subtab. Right, and then I will just go back to our items. Right, so you can see they don't have a group, they don't have the revenue recognition option, they only have this for subscription items. Alright, I'll just quickly show. I'll just quickly show them here. So here you can see for all of these subscription plans, they have this option, the revenue recognition option, right? And there's a couple of different ones.